My Hero is basically a story about mental health. And it all tracks back to one thing Bakugo said back in season 2. And that thing was strain your muscles and you'll tear them. Run too much and you'll run out of breath. Quirks are still physical abilities. And this is where we learn that quirks are like part of you and they impact your body the same way your feet do, your back, your spine do. And as we got more deeper into the series, we ended up learning that they even affect your emotions and personality. So there are many people walking around the world of My Hero with basically disabilities or on the spectrum because of their ability. Toga being born with the quirk that deals with blood gave her body a craving for blood. And since the way her quirk is supposed to work is that she can turn into whoever she loves, she will love whoever it is she can drink the blood of. So that's why she smiles so much. However, that doesn't work in society with everybody else because that type of normal is only normal for her and maybe other people that have blood-based quirks too. Like she got beat for showing her parents this bloody sparrow that she found on the ground, but she just found it on the ground and they thought she did it, so they beat her for it. Then you have somebody like Dabi who is just so mentally unchecked because of how strong his firepower is, which came from his father because his dad has hell flame, and because of that, he is super stubborn and you can't change this dude's mind. So Dabi having firepower even hotter than his is the reason why not even his mom and dad could change him and stop him from burning himself. We see it again with characters like La Brava. Her quirk is literally love, so biologically she is looking for somebody to love and she falls in love very hard. As a result of that, when she gets rejected, that level of rejection feels worse than anything you could ever imagine. Some people feel like their lives are meaningless after they get rejected. That's why she was legit like, yo, I'm finna kill myself before she saw Gentle. You might think that's extreme, but it's her quirk that makes that really extreme in her head. Twice having a dissociative personality disorder comes from his ability to make a lot of different versions of himself. Add on top of that this like really traumatic event that happened, and yeah, he's mentally unsound too. Or what about even little Shigaraki, who's just looking for somebody to help him because he accidentally killed his family, which is not something he tried to do. His quirk is decay, so he craved destruction and he accidentally destroyed his family. He's 5 years old. And little spoiler for this next part, but even someone like All For One with his quirk of being all for one, he takes everything. That's why he's the most selfish being on the planet. This dude was so selfish that even in his mother's womb, he was sapping away her very life force. So because of quirk society, a lot of people were born with abilities that changed the way their brains work and you just release them out into the world. And the people that didn't fall in line with like everybody else in society just being normal, they would send this lady to go and kill you for it. Lady Nagant would even say that she had to kill people that didn't even commit no crime yet. So a lot of the time, she wasn't even killing bad guys. She was like, oh, well, I'm sent to kill this person that has this type of quirk that's making them think a certain way, so you gotta go. And when she got tired of doing that, they tried to be like, hey, you can't walk away from this job. She was like, all right, bet, kill the dude. And that's why it's really important that these new generation of heroes, all these kids at UA, are actually like trying to stop to save their villains instead of just kill them. Because don't get me wrong, it makes sense that you would try to kill them because they're doing so much like harm to the world. But the only reason these guys are even harming the world is because that very world swept them under the rug. Called them crazy, called them freaks. Didn't give them a chance, even when they didn't do anything wrong. That's what happened to Twice. A lot of our heroes aren't even safe from this. This is the reason why Bakugo is always so loud, even at the end of the series when this dude is like a lot more calm and smart. He has an explosive quirk, he's gonna be a loud dude. So looking at all of that, I really appreciate the way that Horikoshi wrote this story. Because we started off with the heroes calling themselves heroes and the villains calling themselves villains. I always thought it was crazy that these guys are calling themselves bad, but no, they're just embracing what society had already labeled them as, which at that point is just a self-fulfilling prophecy from hero society. And that's why Midoriya coming through and saving the villains that he's fought, even changing the heroes that had their own flaws along the way, and even inspiring other heroes to reach their hands out to villains too, is what makes this dude the greatest hero.